Welcome back, everyone, to Gym Challenge here in Taco Turtle Place, right here, twitch.tv/TCB Power Gaming. I think I got that wrong, honestly. I don't even care. My name is Sorno. I'm right side Abu Batsuvai, and we are here with the semifinal match here in our premier challenge between Grant Weldon and Alberto Lara. What are your thoughts heading into this semifinal match?
The two. I don't know too much about Grant Weldon, but I really know a lot about Alberto Lara. He's a very well-known player here. But Grant Weldon got this far. I'm sure he's no slouch himself, so I'm sure we'll have a really great match here. And these are some very interesting teams coming out from both players too.
Yeah, we're seeing here from Grant, Iron Bundle, Tyranitar, Talonflame, Great Tusk, Goldango, and Glamora. And for Alberto, it is the Klefki, Corviknight, Garchomp, Fluttermane, Roaring Moon, and Chi-Yu.
Yeah, and this team, Alberto really just likes going back to his comfort. He's been using this pretty much all year, right? His signature, Klefki and Corviknight, is what he's known for. So
his signature trio being that Klefki, Corviknight, Garchomp.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? Fluttermane just being one of the best Pokemon in the format. He did switch out the Chi-Yu for, I believe he did have one Mon there before Reg C. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's pretty much been the same core just all throughout.
Yeah, and now we see both players lock in their teams. We're going into our first semi-final match here in Gym Challenge Sunday Premier Challenge. We have points on the line. Maybe Alberto's trying to get himself solidification at the top 3 of the leaderboard. Grant trying maybe to see if he gets some CP on the board. Maybe fight for a world championship spot. And here is Alberto's lead of Klefki, Roaring Moon. Grant's going to lead Talonflame and Great Tusk.
Yeah, now Talonflame, Great Tusk, a very well-known duo, right? Just straight up with the Tailwind Earthquake and whatnot, but probably doesn't want to go for that now. Maybe Roaring Moon might be Terraflying here, so he does need to play this turn a little carefully. But I mean, he could also just go for this Will-O-Wisp here right into the Roaring Moon, triple it a lot, because will be one of the fastest things on the field besides maybe Prankster from Klefki.
Yeah, and we did see the booster energy multiply the Roaring Moon's attack stats, so now it's going to be hitting a lot harder than most Roaring Moons in the meta game right now. And we're seeing Grant debate a terrestrialization on his Great Tusk, but yeah, as you said, he's really considering his options.
Yeah, no, because he can insanely punish this Klefki, right? Klefki can't really Thunder Wave into Great Tusk here, right? So he can just Tailwind before any of the Thunder Wave comes off. He's still Terra Ground. I guess he's just going for it. He realizes that even if Roaring Moon gets an immunity off on it, it's not the end of the world, right? And Klefki's most likely just gonna get hit with this Terra Ground Earthquake. But we do see the Terrestrialization coming out here into the Roaring Moon, Terraflying, just like we expected, right? So it's not gonna get hit by anything here, but I mean the Klefki's gonna take an insane amount of damage here.
Yeah, so that Terra Ground, it looks like a Terra Ground Headlong Rush heading into Klefki's way, but first the Tailwind coming from that Talonflame, from that Gale Wings boost that it has. Reflect being set up, trying to combat as much damage as you can from that Great Tusk, but that's a lot of damage heading its way, especially with that Headlong Rush coming in.
Oh yeah, let's see how much it takes here. I'm sure the Klefki is very bulky. It does get KO'd, but it does get, crucially does get the Reflect off, right? So depending on what this Roaring Moon here does, this could be still a big turn for Alberto here.
It should be Acrobatics coming out from the Roaring Moon, and it is Acrobatics. No longer is there a fighting weakness, but it definitely goes for the Talonflame, and it's a one-hit knockout.
Yeah, with the crit, I mean, depending on how much bulk this Talonflame had, that may not have mattered. But that the Talonflame does go down crucially, but it did get the Tailwind off, which is his main job.
And now we see the rest of Grant's team on the screen, and he has Iron Bundle and Glamora in the back. That's a little bit interesting to note from Grant, as he is going to send out that Iron Bundle, activate that booster energy with it. And here is Corviknight for Alberto.
And this is actually kind of a pickle for Grant here, right? Because it is this Great Tusk is locked into Headlong Rush, so he might either need to switch out or do some crazy prediction here. But I'm sure he's going to switch out into this Glamora like he's doing right now, and just do some speed control stuff with Bundle over here.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering what the Corviknight does here. It does have access to bulk up, so it can potentially go for that setup move, but at the same time, Iron Bundle can threaten the freeze. But I'll be real, this Iron Bundle should not be a threat to this Corviknight. Roaring Moon might be different.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, right? Iron Bundle here is just kind of there to maybe try to slow things down, maybe pressure this Roaring Moon. But you know, I'm sure this Roaring Moon is actually like pretty bulky, right? Like knowing how some of the spreads go, right? So that could be the case here. And he does send in the Glamora, and this Glamora is actually toxic debris, right? I know some have been running corrosion lately, so he could have maybe if he had that, he could have been maybe able to poison the Corviknight. But you know, he went to the Iron Bundle to protect, and ooh, that was a really good call there, right? Because I mean, the body press, you know, that Iron Bundle getting doubled into, really good free switch in for the Glamora, and now the Glamora could go for some interesting stuff, right? It does have access to that Life Orb Power Gem, which is actually going to probably do a lot into the Roaring Moon.
And now if you're Corviknight, I mean, if you encore the Corviknight, it probably does nothing. You know, it probably hurts you more than it benefits you. Like, yeah, you stop bulk up, but body press is still doing a huge amount of damage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, this double flying really working against Grant here, because he doesn't really, his main attacker is you know, ground type.
Yeah, we do see Iron Bundle go ahead and go for the Freeze Dry onto the Corviknight, reading the Roaring Moon's Protect. No freeze comes out. Power Gem hits into the Protect of the Roaring Moon. What did the Corviknight do here? Did he go for the bulk up, or did he go for the body press? The body press is the choice. Now you're doing half damage to Iron Bundle.
Yeah, and Iron Bundle is no slouch itself when it comes to physical defense, right? So, you know, it's not going to do much unless Corviknight got a few bulk ups up. So, you know, Iron Bundle, here to live another day. But, you know, this Roaring Moon is going to be able to get hit with the Power Gem. And possibly actually a double up into here, because Corviknight will... seeing the speed we get from the Corviknight, the Glamora is... the Glamora and Bundle are definitely faster than the Corviknight here.
Absolutely, and Roaring Moon in a bit of a pinch right now. Maybe it could swap out to a potential Garchomp if it's available in the back, but then again, Garchomp's also weak to the flying moves that normally is, because that's technically a double Dragon Core if you think about it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, right? But I mean, maybe he's actually like, okay, let's see what he switches into.
Is that a Garchomp or the Chi-Yu coming in? It is Chi-Yu.
So if the Power Gem did go into the Chi-Yu slot, you know, it still will do a lot of damage here, right? And
ooh, that does break at least a focus sash with that freeze dry. It gets the freeze.
Gets the freeze. Oh my god.
But this may not matter if it went Power Gem into the same slot. Yeah, this may not matter. Let's see if Power Gem takes the knockout here, and it will. The freeze ended up not mattering.
Yeah, no, it ended up not mattering though. But like, I mean, I guess it's kind of funny that it happened, right? But let's see what this Corviknight goes into. Most likely a body press. It's probably a roll to see
Ooh, wait, is that a roll or is that a critical hit?
Yeah, I mean, it did. Judging how it did half initially, it did probably come down to a roll or a critical hit there. So you know, it's one of those. It's either or here, right? But now this Great Tusk can actually lock into, you know, safely lock into Rock Slide here actually, because you know there's no like real resist to it now, so it can just. No, maybe Rock Slide or Close Combat here. Let's see what he goes into. I
think, yeah, Rock Slide is probably the safer bet, because Close Combat would actually be not very effective against the Roaring Moon. Maybe Glamora can take it, but it's like, do you really want to put Glamora 1v1 to a Roaring Moon?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure, right? I mean, it does depend on how he gets this Power Gem call here, right? Because Roaring Moon could easily just, like, protect here and, like, going for, like, a body press with the Corviknight. So, Grant's in a pretty interesting spot here. But I mean, he's definitely in the position to bring it back, right? Because he is faster than both of these Pokemon on the field.
Yeah, I was just wondering what he can do here. Honestly, there's a Protect. Did he read it correctly with that Power Gem? We did see Rock Slide come out, so we'll be at least having a chance to hit both Pokemon. First question, does it hit the Corviknight? If it does it's trouble. It does hit. Second question now, will it flinch? I mean, that did very minimal damage. Here's Power Gem. It went into the Protect of the Roaring Moon. Does the Corviknight flinch here, though? Waiting to see, and it does.
Oh, that's a huge flinch there, right? Because I mean, Corviknight doesn't get to move; it doesn't get any chip down. You know, it might not have KO'd anything, but you know the chip is really good here. So, the Tusk could actually go for another. They could go for another Power Gem Rock Slide combo, and I don't know if the Roaring Moon wants to like, try to protect again. You know,
I don't think it might be worth it, because I'm pretty sure the Roaring Moon has a good chance to outspeed the Glamora. It's more so, can it knock out either Pokemon now that it lost its attack booster?
Oh yeah, that's also a big factor, right? Because you know, Roaring Moon does, while it does have a really good attack stat, you know, we don't know exactly what it can do, right? And you know, this Glamora is relatively bulky, and these Pokemon don't really have ways to actually like, super effectively hit it.
But that was very little damage coming out, and there's the Throat Chop. It is faster than the Glamora. It is a 2-hit knockout. The Toxic Debris gonna activate, but this is way too late in the game to actually do anything meaningful. There's a Power Gem. This pretty much might knock out the Roaring Moon, and it does.
Yeah, that Life Orb really coming in handy here. Now we're in a 2v1, and we need to see what this Corviknight does here, because Body Press into the Glamora could be pretty fatal here.
Or Flinch, because this still Rock Slide, it roosts instead. So now we'll get time to recover some HP, and Reflect is still up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's barely taking any damage here, right? So, I mean, you gotta hope for some maybe like flinches, or like maybe some like this Spiky Shield chip, right? Because I mean, it is kind of this Corviknight can bring this game back if it gets like bulk ups and whatnot, right? And you know, if you're not doing too much damage to it, you know, you can like bulk up roost, and you know it becomes pretty unstoppable at that point. Not even Tusk can really contend with that unless it gets like 900 flinches, right?
And also on top of that, I think Glamora only has 2 to 3 more turns because of that Life Orb recoil that currently it's going through. There's the Spiky Shield. At least 2 to 3 more attacks because the Life Orb is going to take more.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's also assuming the Corviknight, you know, doesn't actually
flinch there. Yeah. Bad timing, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? I mean, you know, you could go for the double attack here, and that flinch might actually pay dividends here, right? Because they can go for the bulk ups, but you know,
we see the Power Gem come out. Let's see how much damage it does on the special side. Oh, critical hit!
The crit! Oh my God! Wow, what a timely crit there. You know, Corviknight not having insane special defense ended up you know, biting it a little bit with the crit. You know, we'll always say, you know, 4.4% chance to win the game. So with the crit,
I guess the Glamora did more work than we thought we would, but Great Tusk may not be looking good if it gets them in a situation again with double flying type of ground type attack.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, while that crit was timely, you know, the matchup isn't very favorable for Grant here, right? So I mean, it depends. Maybe he does go with the same lead. He thinks it's fine, right? I mean, he was in still a favorable spot there, right? I mean, he, you know, a few timely flinches, but I mean, let's see if he, you know, either sticks to the game plan he had last time or just goes somewhere different.
I'm wondering a single question for Alberto, because I know the Reflect mattered a lot, especially with that Roaring Moon, because of its pretty lackluster defense stat.
I'm sure.
And then it's just more so, you were expecting the Headlong Rush to come. Maybe you I'm not sure if I can say this correctly, but maybe you could have went Terra Water to survive the Headlong Rush?
Oh yeah, no, he definitely definitely could have there, right? I mean, it could actually come down if he does lead Talon Great Tusk again, right? Maybe instead of actually going for that Headlong Rush, he could actually just go straight for the Rock Slide, right, to get a little more chip down. So it all depends, right? Because I mean, we saw the Headlong Rush KO Klefki right through the Reflect, right? Like that did not matter.
Keep in mind though, that was a Terrastalize Great Tusk.
Yeah, and you know, that was with the Terrastalization, right? But I mean, there still is quite impressive of a knockout there. So I mean, maybe it's worth it to him to actually just get that Headlong Rush off, because Klefki is quite a disruptive Pokemon.
Yeah, very disruptive. It gives glimpses of Grimmsnarl, even though Grimmsnarl has actually fallen pretty significantly from generation to generation, which comes to a shock to me. But speaking of shock, we don't see a shock in leads here for Alberto. Klefki, Roaring Moon, Talonflame, Great Tusk, Deja Vu to game 2.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same turn 1, right? Because let's be honest, this Roaring Moon does not want to get Headlong Rushed. So but we could see
okay, we see the same 4 Pokemon for Grant.
Yeah, I mean these Pokemon aren't you know, they aren't bad Pokemon there to be there, but I mean as we saw, he did need to get a little lucky to come back in the last game. But you know, maybe if he switches up his play, actually he could definitely get a better lead in this game as well.
Yeah, and said, oh, we're gonna see Talonflame, maybe go for something different here. Maybe go for the taunt on the Klefki, even though. Oh wait, no, never mind. We're going Tailwind. And are we gonna see the same play? I see why here Terrastalize here. You don't want to take super effective damage from the acrobatics, so you also want to avoid that, make that neutral.
Yeah, for sure. And he actually just goes for the Rock Slide here. I think you know, the Roaring Moon was kind of a threat in the last game, right? So maybe he is thinking like, you know what, I might not get the knockout on this Klefki, but I can get the really good chip onto the Roaring Moon. So he is switching up his gameplay a little bit, which is really, really smart, you know. shows that he's willing to. He has very good skills at adapting.
Yeah, we do see double terrestrialization come out from each player. Grant going TR ground to avoid the acrobatics super effective damage, and now Alberto going to take advantage of the acrobatics with that booster energy on play right now. But you know, the first time Alberto went for the acrobatics and went to the Talon Flames, as you see the tailwind come out, maybe we see acrobatics go to a Great Tusk this time?
Yeah, we can see it. And let's see what the Klefki actually goes.
Oh!
Light screen. That's very interesting there. I mean, we'll see.
Double connects the Rock Slide. It's doing half damage to the Roaring Moon. Does it flinch? FCC is not very effective under the Klefki. Does not flinch. Here's the acrobatics. Where did this go? It went to the Great Tusk. It's going over half.
Now, this is actually a really good situation, right? The Talonflame could actually go into a Will-O-Wisp, into the Roaring Moon, and cripple it, right? Which is actually really, really good for this Talonflame. Since it went down, earlier on, right? I mean,
yeah, look at that. I was gonna say, maybe, or instead you go for a Gale Wings boosted Braver to knock out the Roaring Moon before Reflect can get set up.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, right? I mean, it does depend though, because you know the Roaring Moon isn't getting hit super effectively. It all depends on how this Talonflame would be invested, right? So only he knows how this Talonflame is invested, right? Whether
well, he's going for it.
And you know, plus this Rock Slide, I mean, he could actually pick up.
Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. We're aborting the planes, and it was protected anyway.
Oh, that was a really good call here, right? Because you know, a Roaring Moon was really threatened there, so he kind of did need to just protect it there, and he gets a Reflect up. So you know, depending on how this next turn goes with the Flare Blitz and whatnot, I mean not Flare Blitz,
Taunt
and whatnot. Let's see.
Well, the Klefki got his accomplishments done. The problem now is stuck using Dazzling Gleam, or it switches.
Yeah, because it only has Reflect, Light Screen, and Thunderwave plus Dazzling Gleam, right? So I mean, it can't just keep going for the Dazzling Gleam. I mean, the good chip is good chip, right? So we'll see. It got his job done, right? This Roaring Moon, honestly, maybe this Roaring Moon doesn't even like get knocked out by a Rock Slide plus Brave Bird combo here. Might not actually. So we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna see another Rock Slide come out. Oh, it's Roaring Moon that switches.
Interesting. Maybe you know, Alberto.
Carbonite.
Yeah.
I wonder why he does that, because yeah, maybe to resist the Braver from the Gale Wings. Now it's gone for the rest of the game unless Pollen Puff is something. Oh, critical hit.
Oh, that was a critical hit. I was about to say that did a lot of damage for a resisted move, but that was the crit. Coming in for the Rock Slide not doing much either because of the Reflect.
And it flinches the Klefki.
And the Klefki flinches, you know, that's what you get when you go Rock Slide. And you know, Talonflame still faster, can get Thunder Waved, you know, so he can just Will-O-Wisp in the Corviknight slot and, you know, just start spreading these burns on all these physical attackers will actually prove really quite bothersome for Alberto for sure.
Yeah, it very much will, because this Corviknight really relies on his attack stat with his Brave Bird and Body Press. And interesting to note here, I think, well, first of all, this Gale Wings is out offline for the rest of the game, because I don't think Grant has any recovery means, as we see. Great Tusk switch up to Gamora. And then this, I don't know how much more potential this Talonflame gets as he connects the Will-O-Wisp, getting the burn, and with the terrestrialization gone, he cannot switch to fire.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very good that you know, the Talonflame stayed alive, right? Because although it's not doing much damage, this spread of just so much burning is he's letting it roam free, and it's the fastest thing on the field next to the Tailwind is set up, right? So it's very cool. And now that it's gone, but you know,
just said it again.
Yeah, he just said it again because he's actually still the most fastest Pokemon on the field right now, right? And Klefki can't go for any of its prankster abilities to maybe like fish for the Thunder Wave paralysis, right? So he just gets another free Tailwind up, and you know, Lamar could go for something too.
Yeah, and now Klefki's in a weird spot because there's a chance this Roaring Moon comes back into play and potentially eat up Earth Power. I almost said Earth Eater, but we don't have any Orcworms in play.
Yeah, for sure, right? And you know, it all depends on what Grant wants to here, and you know, it could be a good switch for Alberto, right?
It can be. It's just, I don't know what this I don't know if he stays in and just goes for another Dazzling Lean here. He does stay in. It's going to be another Dazzling Lean from this Klefki. Tailwind comes out. What does this Gamora do here? Earth Powers into the Klefki. Light Screen's still up, and it matters because it stayed on the red.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, maybe Alberto was actually like hoping the Klefki goes down here, because I mean, he gets a safe switch into any one of his threats, right? So, oh, that burn, we're just doing nothing with that burn. This Talonflame probably pretty invested in bulk too, you know. So,
and we do see Citrus Berry proc on Alberto's Corviknight now to hit 150 HP, 50% health. Now it's going up to 75.
Yeah, and since it's not actually...
And Klefki's no longer taunted.
Also, Klefki can actually go for the Thunder Wave here, right? So, I mean...
I actually think you go for it on the Glamora. I don't think Talonflame's the threat right now.
Yeah, that is true, right? But, I mean, it can prevent future Tailwinds from getting set up. So, we'll see what Grant wants to go here. I mean, Klefki is really low. And, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I mean, just look at the way that both these birds are flying. You know, one detail I missed from Sword and Shield is that any flying Pokemon actually had sound effects with their wings.
Oh,
I'm not sure if you noticed.
Oh no, I don't remember. I didn't play with sound with those back in the day. But you know, I mean, he withdraws Corviknight. That's actually a very interesting one. I think he really does just want the Klefki to go down to get.
Oh, it's Fluttermane.
Oh, and now that's interesting. He did bring Fluttermane as opposed to last game, right? I mean, if Tailwind ends up petering out, the Fluttermane will probably be the fastest thing on the field. And like we said, he did go for the Thunder Wave on the Talonflame, and it won't be the fastest Pokemon on the field anymore because of that.
We do see the Earth Power knock out the Klefki. Glamora taking a bit of Life Orb recoil. Talonflame gets the taunts off, so Fluttermane now no longer allowed to protect.
Yeah, that is true, but I mean, honestly, right now, I mean, once the Tailwind peters out, it's going to be quite tough for any of these Pokemon there, right? And we do need to see the turns, right? I believe it should have like one more turn left if I was counting correctly.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If Fluttermane, I don't know if it can stay in if Tailwind's still up because it can't protect, and Braver's still doing a good amount of damage.
Yeah, and that would also depend on whether the Brave Bird even connects, right? Because of the paralysis. We know the Glamora is probably going to connect with whatever it goes for, right? It's probably going to go for like a Sludge Bomb here. But you know, with Fluttermane being pretty specially bulky, it might not actually KO.
Yeah, we see Corviknight come back in here. Power Gem's pretty much a safe option now for Glamora.
Oh, he actually has 2 turns of Tailwind left, so actually this might be actually really good here. You can just Sludge Bomb into the Fluttermane that cannot protect, and you can potentially also just you know, maybe even get some chip with Brave Bird. Let's see.
Yeah, and also Power Gem's a super safe move to use now. I don't see a point in using Earth Power the rest of the game.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? I mean, so the Flying Roaring Moon in the back, and you know, you really don't want an Earth Power. So I mean, I think Sludge Bomb maybe into the Flutter could be really good here too.
This is a tough position for Alberto. He's down 1-0, and he's already in a situation. Even though he has both screens up, he's not in a favorable one.
Yeah, I mean,
Spiky Shield comes out from Glamora, maybe trying to anticipate Corviknight attacking into it.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, you know, I mean, he's doing a really... Ooh, that was a very good Spiky Shield there. He might have actually doubled into it.
Do we see a paralysis from this Talonflame? No, we see the Brave Bird come out. As I was talking about, it only does 50% health.
I mean, that's fine, right? I mean,
and Roost from this Corviknight, gonna heal it back to full, but it loses a bit of health to burn.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, like, doing half is like just enough, right? Because that actually means it probably faints from another Sludge Bomb here, right? And he's going in for this one. You know, so you know, with Corviknight being burned, the body press might not do much, but we need to see. I don't know if Grant knows if the Glamora is faster than Fluttermane under Tailwind, right? And I'm not sure maybe Alberto knows either, right? Because we've never really seen these speed interactions properly. So we'll see now. Glamora is indeed faster than the Fluttermane.
Ooh, and that's a KO from the Sludge Bomb. Grant Weldon's Glamora takes the knockout with that move. Do we see Talonflame got the taunt? It does got the taunt, so no more bulk up a Roost for this Corviknight. Did it even go for it in the first place? It did not.
The Brave Bird. You know, Talonflame not even going down. Wow, what a survival. This Talonflame so bulky, and the burn just helping that out a lot, right? It seems like keeping this Talonflame on field was not really probably the best decision for Alberto here.
No, yeah, Fluttermane going down, Light Screen's gone, Tailwind's gone. Glamora, I mean, we did see a little slower than the Lowering Moon, so it is in Throat Chop range.
Yeah, but I mean, also, you know, we have 2 Pokemon in the back for we have 3 Pokemon in the back right here for Grant, right?
No, so, Grant has all 4 of his Pokemon still.
Yeah, he has all 4 of his Pokemon, right? I mean, I'm more talking about the back, right? But you know,
2 in play, 2 in the back.
Yeah, 2 in play and 2 in the back, right? It looks like this Glamora and Talonflame are gonna go down.
Oh, Tailwind instead from this Orange Moon, electing not to take the immediate knockout on this Glamora. Here comes Braver. This will secure to knock out onto the Talonflame next step paralysis. What did the Glimora do with this power gem?
Yeah, I mean, if it goes into Roaring Moon, maybe Roaring Moon actually does survive it, right? With the great special defense it has.
Here it goes. There's no more light screen. It's at half health. It does not survive.
That's unfortunate, right? Now it's not all up to this Corviknight. I don't know if
it cannot bulk up. It cannot roost for another turn.
Yeah, and it's burned, right? So you know it's not gonna do much damage with the Brave Birds either. So you know.
I actually think, this I think it's over. And their Flex gone, so Great Tusk can just be allowed to close combat.
Oh, you know, that too, right? And, you know, I mean, Iron Bundle also really good play here, you know, just get these neutral freeze dries in. But, I mean, he's in Grant's just in a really good position right now to win this.
And here comes the Iron Delibird, Iron Bundle going to go ahead.
Iron Bundle, ready to serve up some hydro pumps and freeze dries for Christmas.
Actually, there is. Well, you won't be serving any hydro pumps, sadly.
Oh, you know what? No, yeah, he doesn't have any hydro pumps. You know, he's serving up freeze dries.
And the battle's canceled. Grant Weldon upsets Alberto Lara and goes into the grand finals with a 2-0 win.
Yeah, really well played by Grant, right? I mean, he assessed like what the threats were, and he did actually do a lot more of a consistent adjustment into game 2, where he actually just ended up going for the rock slide, right? He knew that he was gonna get the tailwind up anyway because the the Gale Wings was faster than the Prankster, right? And also, you know, getting that chip on the Roaring Moon was also really good, and he couldn't even get paralyzed by the Klefki on his Great Tusk because it was ground. So, you know, it was very good. And Alberto decided, you know, the Great Tusk needed to go down as opposed to the Talonflame. Talonflame stuck around for way too long, spread some burns, spread some taunts, and it proved to be really too much for Alberto's team to handle.
Yeah, maybe that's the last time anyone's gonna underestimate Talonflame.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, no, for sure, right? That Pokemon, I mean, it's one of the best Tailwind centers in the game, along with Murkrow, right? And it has. All right. Oh yeah. So we'll be back after these. We'll be back.